Welcome. For those of you who are new to us or who have not previously been a part of OLLI at WVU, I am Jacina Hazlett. I'm the director of the program, this wonderful program, and I'm so glad you could join us today. We are recording this. It will be posted on our YouTube page and maybe social media to help us promote the program and the classes that we are doing this winter. After a brief introduction to the program, then we have several instructors with us today who are going to take a couple minutes each and talk about their classes or events this winter. And then we will be taking questions. So if you have a question while it's going on, you can put it in chat if you like. And then I'll keep up on chat and we'll ask questions at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I need to go back to the first slide. A little too I was checking out my slideshow earlier. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So here at OLLI at WVU, we are all about discovery, connections, and that lead to thriving. Our mission is to provide educational and social engagement opportunities that are designed for people 50 plus. It is important that we emphasize designed for because we do not discriminate. You do not have to be 50 already to participate in our programming. We do have a few members who are younger than 50 and they are welcome. During 4 terms each year, we offer courses, lectures, seminars, field trips, special member events, hands-on workshops, etc., in all kinds of areas. Arts, art history, literature, writing, financial literacy and retirement, health and wellness. History is a big category for us. Philosophy, religion, math, science, social sciences, technology, training, travel. And we have an other category for those things that don't neatly fit into one of these categories. So a wide variety of experiences that can be had when you're an OLLI member. OLLI at WVU is one of 125 that are across the country. They're all funded in part by the Bernard Osher Foundation. And they are all affiliated, or I should say, we are all affiliated with a university or college. OLLI at WVU is an affiliate of the School of Public Health. We are a membership organization that recognizes unique experiences, capabilities, and wisdom of our members and members of the community. There is a membership fee to participate, and I will share that in a moment. And we emphasize the sharing of ideas through peer learning, member participation, and collaborative leadership. Ways that a person who is interested and curious can be involved becoming a member by taking classes, attending special events, traveling with OLLI. The membership fee is $30. It's good from July 1st through June 30th. We do have a term enrollment fee as well of $40. Let me speak to the membership fee first. With this $30, our members have access to a number of shared interest groups for no additional fee, not paying the term enrollment fee. And those include 2 book groups, 2 walking groups, 3 eating out groups, a band, a yarn arts group. What else do we have? A board games group, Lego building group. These are opportunities for members to get together and participate in an activity that they enjoy together, without a structured learning environment. You also have access with your membership to at least one special member event every term. Usually something like a hike, a lecture, a trivia game, something that we offer to our members every term. And access to Michelle Clishis, who is our professional technologist, and she offers Ask a Geek sessions for our members. So if you need assistance with anything computers, Michelle is ready and willing to help you with your technology needs. Also, other benefits of membership include the opportunity to meet new friends, meet new people. It's hard to make new friends as an adult, and outside of work. It's hard, and OLLI provides a great place to do so. There's discounts on various travel and events around the community. You also have a voice in OLLI governance. You have the right to be put on a wait list. This is not as big a deal anymore since the pandemic as it was prior, but it still comes up occasionally. We have a class that's very popular. We have a wait list for it. You have to be a member to be put on the wait list for the next time it's offered. The next time it is offered, then anybody on the wait list gets priority registration, has the ability to register for that class before anybody else does. If you're here in Morgantown, free parking at the Mountaineer Mall. That's a great thing that a lot of people really appreciate. We also have financial assistance available for anybody who wants to be a member and or take classes. We don't want cost to be a barrier to participation. So we do have a scholarship form available online. It's on an honor basis. We don't ask for financial information or for, proof financial information, and it is kept anonymous. Other ways to be involved is as a volunteer, be an ambassador, talk it up, talk up the program to your friends and family in the community, to potential instructors, volunteer instructors. Host classes for us. Class hosts are very important to the success of the program. Act as a host for an event, work on a project team, help with registration, office support, serve on one of our committees or task groups, and of course, teach for OLLI. As many of you on here know, because you are instructors, those of you who are not, all of our instructors are volunteers, and we are so grateful that they are willing to share their time and expertise with us. So why go back to school? All this. Why do you want to go back to school? Well, some reasons to go back to school, some benefits for going back to school, to joining OLLI and taking classes again. It helps us adapt to change, find meaning in our lives, stay involved as active contributors to society, make new friends. We already talked about that. Enriching life of self-fulfillment, and just helps make the world a better place. This morning in WVU, those of us that work at WVU, we get a 3 times a week email from the university, and this week's had a video from Dr. Clay Marsh, and he highlighted four tips for living longer, for healthy living longer. And the first 2 in this video were connection, staying socially engaged and making friends and staying busy with friends. And the other one was finding a sense of purpose. And I thought that just speaks directly to what OLLI does. So these are absolutely the benefits of being an OLLI member. Put a little more simply, with no tests, papers, or grades, this is learning for the fun of it. And for our instructors out there too, having been a teacher in the past in a university of undergrads and a couple grad students, it's also teaching for the fun of it again, because you don't have to write those tests and grade those tests and read those papers and or give those grades. You get to just teach for the fun of it as well. So okay, with that, before I turn it over to individual instructors, are there any questions about the program itself? Okay, wonderful. All right, so I'm going to stop this sharing, and I am going to call on, first, I'm going to call on Judy. Would you like to talk about your class?
I'd be happy to talk about my class. Let me start with a story. When I was just a girl growing up in West Virginia, the United States Supreme Court, at that time it was the Warren Court, was becoming a judicial lightning rod. Its rulings were demanding sweeping changes in American life. Some of us probably remember those. And those so-called activist judges, that's what they were called, were interpreting the Constitution differently than any of their predecessors. And to start, they recognized in 1954 that separate could not be equal in public education. We all remember that. Later on, when I got older, I became fascinated by the Supreme Court, what it did and how that affected real people. And when I was an undergrad studying constitutional law at WVU. So that's when it all happened for me. So for those of you who don't know, I'm currently active in the West Virginia League of Women Voters. And imagine my delight then when the National League decided in 2024 to finally develop a position on the federal judiciary. Positions provide the foundation for all of the league's advocacy. And we've had positions on the Congress and the presidency since 1982. That's 44 years. I did the math. But we had nothing on the third branch of government, the federal courts, including the Supremes. So what did I do? Before the study committee was even formed, I volunteered. The class I'm teaching next month, February 17th, and it's only in person, it's not hybrid on Zoom. That class is about that work, why it was so important and so overdue, and what good stuff came out of it. Now, please don't think that you need to be a lawyer to take this class. I'm not a lawyer, but I am a citizen, and this really is just civics. What the federal courts are doing, is affecting every one of us every single day. Just listen to the news. So I hope you'll sign up for the class and get excited about this topic with me.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Judy's class, the name of it is the U.S. Federal Judiciary Time for Reform, and it is being offered on Tuesday, February 17th at 12:45 p.m. here in Morgantown. Wonderful. Thank you. Next up, we have Ed McKinney, who is going to talk about his class. Ed is new to teaching for OLLI at WVU, and we're excited to have you with us.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Ed McKinney, better known as Kathy Hanko's son-in-law. Hello, everyone. My name is Ed McKinney, and Merry Christmas. January 6th, which was yesterday, is Christmas Day in the country of Armenia. So Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh.
And I feel it's a fitting way to begin my introduction to Journey to Armenia, a crossroads of East and West. Many of you may have heard of Armenia, but not many of us really know about it. Last year, I spent time there keeping a journal, walking through monasteries carved into mountains, standing at the Armenian Genocide Museum, and sharing meals and conversations with people whose lives are shaped by history, loss, and remarkable resilience. I am standing in front of the Echmiadzin Cathedral, which is the spiritual headquarters of Armenia. Not really, it's just a photo, but it looks cool. Unlike traveling to Las Vegas, or whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, when I went to Armenia, what happened in Armenia kind of came with me. On New Year's Eve, a 16-year-old boy named Aram, who's a computer teacher, he sent me a message on Facebook wishing me a Happy New Year. And another young woman I met, she was 20 years old. In September, she was engaged to be married, and she experienced a profound loss when her future mother-in-law died. But yet, in October, she got married, an act of joy and courage in the midst of grief. In this 90-minute class, I'll share stories like these through photos and journal entries. We'll explore Armenia's ancient roots, which there predate Constantine, its Soviet past, and its modern identity, but always through the lives of everyday people, from teenagers imagining their future to grandmothers whose cooking preserves culture better than any museum. If you enjoy armchair travel, lived history, and stories that stay with you, I invite you to join me for Journey to Armenia at the crossroads of East and West.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to this. This class is being offered on Zoom on Thursday, March 5th at 10 a.m. We hope you'll be able to join us for Journey to Armenia at the crossroads of East and West. Thank you, Ed. Okay, next up is Wally Venable. Wally is going to be teaching about the iron industry. Let me put the spotlight on you here, Wally. Oh, why don't you tell us a little bit about the iron industry class, Wally?
In February, I'm teaching 3 classes about the iron industry in Monongalia County. Now, most people are vaguely aware that if you take a long hike from Cooper's Rocks, you can find a pile of stones called the Henry Clay Furnace, and that's about all they know about the iron industry in Monongalia County. But actually, between about 1800 and 1850, there were as many as 10 communities in Monongalia and closely adjacent areas that were producing iron um, from from ore mined out of the local ground and from charcoal, and that thousands of people in the county relied on the iron industry for their living. I'm going to talk about not only the history, though, but I'm going to talk about how the iron furnaces actually functioned. There's some good video of um, sort of replica furnaces operating and so on. So I'll talk about the iron technology itself, as well as the iron communities, and the tremendous impact that these early furnaces had, not only on local life, but on all life west of the mountains in the 1800 to 1850 period. And so I got videos and pictures and whatnot. The basis for this is that I started doing a republication of a book by a guy named John Moreland, who was a local attorney who did a lot of the work in doing the real estate stuff for what became Cooper's Rock and the state forests up in that area. And he semi-published um, a a folder of his notes that he had made while he was working on that. Um, that text is readily available on the internet, but if you access on the internet, you get 600 page scans, thousands of footnotes, misspellings, and so on. It wasn't a book, rather, it was a collection of good notes, but they're tremendously good notes about the history of the county before 1850 and of the industry itself. And so I have the project I'm working on is to try to reduce that book to something like this, a paperback book that not only has the text corrected and spelling corrected and simplified, but also some pictures, maps, and so on. And what I intend to do with it is to make printed copies of it through Amazon and make sure that there's a copy of his book with my notes in every one of the middle schools and high schools in Monongalia County, and for it to be available in the public libraries, and anybody who wants it can buy a copy online. So that's my project.
Thank you, Ollie. The iron industry in Monongalia County will be offered on Wednesdays, February 11 through 25 at 10 a.m. in person here in Morgantown and on Zoom. Thank you. Up next, Jim Held. Jim, would you like to talk about your, let me get you in the spotlight here. There we go. Would you like to talk about the Winter Film Forum?
I think I'm on the speaker and everything. So,
yes, you're good.
Yeah, I'm Jim Held. I'm a retired WVU theater professor, and I host the film forum each of our terms. But in the winter, we just devote ourselves to 2 longer films. And if you've not been to one of our showings, we do these in Classroom B, where we've installed a 10-foot wide screen, and so we have a great picture. I've been kind of obsessed lately with the anti-Semitism that has grown up recently and has had some terrible stuff going on. And so I thought a good theme for this year would be the Holocaust during and after. And that means our first film will be Schindler's List. This film was directed by Steven Spielberg and came out late in the same year that he wowed us with the first Jurassic Park film. Um, he was raised as a more or less non-observant Jew, but he came to feel like at some point he had to do something about the Holocaust. And so Schindler's List was the result. It came from a fine book, and it ended up winning 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, etc. The second film will be the After film, Stanley Kramer's Judgment at Nuremberg. It's an outstanding film that uses some documentary style film, and as well as an all-star cast of people that participated in those trials in Nuremberg. And it's a remarkable film, and if you've never seen it, shame on you. Now, lest you think that the Holocaust was just about the killing 6 million Jews, not necessarily. The Nazis also hated Romanis, homosexuals, resistance fighters, political and theological enemies, and on and on and on. Ironically, I think one of the saddest stories to come out of the war was the fact that the great Dietrich Bonhoeffer, one of the great Lutheran theologians, was hanged on the day that the Nazis surrendered. If that's not pure evil at work, I don't know what is. Anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. If you sign up for this class, you'll also be paying $15, and that will support our lunch buffet. We watch the first half of the film, have a nice lunch together, and then come back and watch the rest. And then afterwards, we have a period of discussion, which are often quite lively. So I hope you'll all join us. Thank you.
Thank you. So it is actually 2 separate events. So Schindler's List will be shown on Friday, February 20th at 10 a.m. And then Judgment at Nuremberg is on March 6th. It's also a Friday. It's also at 10 a.m. It is $15 per film. It's important to know that. Okay, thank you. Next up is Kathy Fletcher.
Okay, well, I'm Kathy Fletcher. You might see my government name in the catalog, Catherine. Sometimes that shows up when I register for things. And this workshop, this class is on Irish, Cúpla Focal, a few words of Irish. And the first thing that I want you to learn, even if you don't take my class, is that the Irish word for the Irish language is Gaeilge. In Ireland, calling Irish Gaelic is considered somewhat incorrect. They prefer to call their language Irish if they're speaking English, or Gaeilge if they're speaking Irish. And in this class, we'll learn a few facts about the Irish language, along with some common words and phrases, some basic pronunciation and grammar rules. We'll talk about Irish place names, Irish words that are now part of English, and the influence that Irish has had on the English that's currently spoken in Ireland. For example, English words that came from Irish include brogue, galore, smidge, smithereens, and whiskey, although whiskey might also have come from Scottish. There's a big to-do about who invented whiskey. Was it the Scots or the Irish? Cúpla Focal means a couple of words, and it is sometimes given as a response to the query, An bhfuil Gaeilge agat? Do you have any Irish? And the question literally is there Irish at you? Because Irish does not have a word for have. Instead, something is at you. If you have something, it is at you. And this self-deprecating response of a couple of words indicates a basic but proud knowledge of Irish. Another little interesting bonus gift about Irish is that there are no direct words for yes or no. If you ask them a yes or no question in Irish, they'll repeat the verb from the question in their response. And I've noticed when I talk to Irish people in English that they tend not to give just yes or no as their response to questions. There'll be a small sentence as part of their answer. Isn't the weather grand today? It is, yes. However, when an Irish person says the words, I will, yeah, in response to a request for them to take an action, the truth is they most emphatically will not. So take this class, the crack will be mighty.
Thank you. Looking forward to this one. So Cúpla, now I know how to pronounce it. Cúpla Focal, a few words in Irish, will be offered both in person here in Morgantown and on Zoom on Thursday, February 26th at 10 a.m. We are happy to have you with us. Next up, Andrew Gallagher is going to talk for a bit about his class. And welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm going to speak to people about the interwar years between World War I and World War II. I believe it's a fascinating topic that remains timeless. I want to talk about first of of four classes will be how Hitler destroyed Germany's democracy within 2 months of his coming to power. The second class will be about the conditions in Germany that led to his rise between 1919 and 1933. The third class will be about his consolidation of power in 1934 and some other issues that led to World War II. And the little known fact that World War II actually started in Asia in 1931, where the opening hostilities began, although we frequently think it was September the 1st, 1939. The last class will be a wrap-up of all of the bloodless conquests that Hitler managed to pull off from the rise of his coming to power to the beginning of the war in 1939, which meant that Germany gobbled up most of Central Europe without ever firing a shot because the British and the French were unwilling to go to war with them.
Thank you. We are looking forward to it. Andrew's class, the world in the interwar years and end of German democracy, is going to be held in person in the Kanawha Valley. It will be at Edgewood Summit, and the dates on that are Thursdays, February 12th through March 5th, from 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you so much, Andrew. And next up, we have Jack Hammersmith. Jack is going to talk to us about his class about JFK and courage.
Thank you, JC. My class is based upon the fact that writers talking about politicians, American politicians or others, rarely use the word courageous. Yet in his 1956 book, Profiles in Courage, then Senator John Kennedy, and by the way, he was a hopeful vice presidential nominee in 56, though he didn't get the nomination, praised this very quality for sacrificing popularity and sometimes careers, choosing courage and conscience over expediency and ease. The class, I might note, came out of last session's class on presidential ghostwriters. For Kennedy's closest and favorite ghost, Ted Sorensen, was suspected of actually being the author of Profiles in Courage. We'll examine that issue, and in addition, whether strings were pulled to get Kennedy the Pulitzer Prize in 57 for the book. But we'll also see the publication within a long line of presidential presidents as authors, starting with Thomas Jefferson in his Notes on Virginia, and including virtually every president who's survived his term since Calvin Coolidge in the 1920s. But back to Profiles in Courage. Who were the 8 senators whom Kennedy chose? Why were they celebrated? Several will be names unfamiliar to all of us. Others, like former President John Quincy Adams, were honored for seemingly strange reasons. Adams, by the way, before he was president, was Secretary of State. And for some critical elements in the Monroe Doctrine, it was actually John Quincy Adams who was responsible and not President Monroe himself. The advantage for Monroe was he was president, so he got credit. I hope you'll join me with this for this 2-week class on Profiles in Courage. 8 stories, many of them men coping with the central evil of slavery, sometimes at the cost of losing power because of the decisions they made, but nevertheless doing what they thought was right, regardless of the consequences. It was a rare and admirable quality. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. So, conscious versus convenience, JFK's Profiles in Courage will be offered here in Morgantown and on Zoom on Wednesdays, January 21 and 28 at 10 a.m. And next up, we have Andrea Elkins. Andrea, let me see. There you are. We'll put the spotlight. And would you like to tell us about your class?
Sure. Good afternoon. Happy New Year. Thank you, Justina. Hello, everybody. My name is Andrea Elkins. So the class I'm teaching is part 2 of a class I taught 2 years ago, and we're going to be looking at the musicals and operas of George and Ira Gershwin, Jerome Kern, Leonard Bernstein, and Kander and Ebb. And some of the musicals I'm going to be talking about are Chicago, Cabaret, Kiss of a Spider Woman, Showboat, and On the Town. So it's going to be a really fun class. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Andrea, as well. Cecil, are you feeling up to talking with us? I can tell us about your Tai Chi offering.
I'm going to try, but I've been having coughing fits. I'm in the verge of, I think, getting over a cold that I've had for a couple of weeks. Anyway, it's good to see everyone. I'm Cecil Pollard. I have been teaching and taking Tai Chi through OLLI for, I don't know, 10, 12 years. I lost track. And I started out as a student, and I'm going to give you a little story since someone else told a story. Before I started taking Tai Chi, became a primary caregiver for a friend of mine who was elderly, and as I now find myself, but he's elderly and not in very good health. But I sat around with him for 10 years, and so when he passed, then I was elderly and unhealthy, and I could not even walk from my car to my office without stopping to catch my breath. I was in horrible condition. So I wanted to change that. I started taking Tai Chi and was able to get back my strength. I now usually bicycle and kayak and do lots of long hikes and stuff. So I feel like I'm a lot healthier than I was when I started this a few years ago. For those of you that don't know, Tai Chi is a health and wellness exercise that was developed in China. Probably it's not clear, but somewhere probably 1500s. It's a very gentle kind of exercise. It's more of a moving meditation at some point. We basically take a health approach to it. Some people can even take this class if they can't stand. They could even do it sitting down. I'm going to be teaching on Zoom, but I'm going to also do it at OLLI in the classroom in case anyone would like to attend in person. So I look forward to doing this. I've been doing it for a few years. We have an ongoing class on Saturdays, if anyone's interested in that OLLI also sponsors. And I don't know what else to say. Looking
That's
forward
fine.
to anyone who would be interested. The programs at OLLI are delightful. They're really great for stimulating your mind, and I sort of feel like the phys ed teacher. We need to move around a little bit. But
You
anyway,
and Eva for yoga. Yep,
yep.
absolutely.
Thank you
Well,
very much for this opportunity.
thank you, Cecil.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, new this semester is Monday morning Tai Chi. It'll be 30-minute sessions. There's an introductory session at 10:40 from 10:40 to 11:10, and there's a intermediate at 10 a.m. So it's on Monday mornings. And this one does require OLLI membership. Um, and then on Saturday mornings, as Cecil mentioned, we do Tai Chi for a full 50 minutes, intermediate at 10 a.m. and beginning introduction at 11 a.m. And those are held at the Shack Neighborhood House, and those are free and open to the public. So anybody interested in taking Tai Chi can participate in those. And I just realized I'm going to back up for just a second because I was a little caught off guard here. Andrea's class. I didn't give you all the deets on Andrea Elkin's class. It's More Musical Composers, Part 2. It's going to be offered on Zoom on Mondays, January 26th through February 16th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So this is one of our evening classes. So if you have friends or family, relative, somebody that you think might be interested in OLLI but can't attend because most of our stuff is during the day, this is one of our evening classes, and we are thrilled to be able to offer those occasionally. I believe that is all of the instructors who are with us this afternoon. Did I miss anyone before I move on to the next? Before I move on to the last couple things and open it up for questions, I want to say thank you to all of our volunteer instructors. We're so fortunate to have such talented and generous people participating in OLLI. Okay, let's go back here. Just a couple more things. So registration for winter term is open now. For those of you who are attending an OLLI event, attending this for the first time, this is just a small sample of the number of classes that we have. We have somewhere around 65 different opportunities for members to participate in this winter. A couple of the others that I can mention, Whispers in the Dark, about mysterious deaths across history. It's a class being offered on Zoom. We have some handcrafts workshops here in Morgantown. We have a wonderful fossil guy down in the Kanawha Valley in Charleston. He's going to be doing a class called Fossils and More Fossils. Just a whole lot of really interesting, fun classes to be involved with. And registration is now open. Registration in general is open until the class actually starts, as long as there are still seats available. So, but we do encourage you to register as soon as you make a decision that you want to take a class. The other thing I want to mention is just staying in the know, knowing what's going on at OLLI. We have a wonderful website. It's olli at wvu.edu. And also sign up for our Friday bulletin. Every Friday at noon, we send an email out that includes the schedule for the upcoming week. We send an email out. This email has the schedule for the upcoming week. It has additional classes, things we've added once the catalog has gone to print. Changes in our schedule. If you have the catalog, there are a few changes already. And other events and opportunities that we think our members would enjoy. So with that, I'm going to see if there are any questions from the community. I do see one from Connie wondering about doing something on Zoom and Judy doing her class on Zoom, and we can chat about that. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in class. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.